Dr. Elena Santos stood before the quantum array's holographic display, her dark eyes reflecting cascades of data that shouldn't exist. The Australian Outback facility had detected something impossible, a massive energy surge from what appeared to be a cloaked structure in high Earth orbit. For 3 days, she had kept the discovery to herself, verifying and re-verifying the data until there was no room for doubt. "Computer, run final confirmation scan," she commanded, her voice steady despite the weight of what she was about to reveal. The quantum processors hummed, analyzing the subtle distortions in space-time that had led to her discovery. She already knew what they would show: an artificial structure larger than Earth's moon, using technology far beyond human capability, had been watching them. Watching and transmitting. The facility's AI responded with characteristic precision. Confirmation complete. Structure maintains consistent position. Energy signatures indicate ongoing transmission of large data packets toward the galactic core. Elena's fingers traced the edge of the old brass compass in her pocket, a reminder of her grandmother's words about how humanity's greatest discoveries often came from looking where others refused to see. "Time to make some waves," she muttered, reaching for her secure comm unit. Within hours, the facility's quiet routine transformed into controlled chaos. Military officials, scientists, and government representatives from a dozen nations crowded into the command center, all eyes fixed on Elena's presentation. "The structure isn't just observing Earth," she explained, highlighting the complex pattern of energy emissions. "It's cataloging us. Every transmission contains detailed analyses of human biology, technology, culture, everything that makes us who we are. But here's the concerning part." She paused, bringing up a decoded fragment of the alien data stream. "They're attaching value assessments to everything they document." Admiral Chen of the Pan-Pacific Defense Coalition leaned forward, his weathered face tightening. "They're not just studying us. They're appraising us." "Exactly," Elena confirmed. "We're being inventoried, like items in a catalog." The room erupted in overlapping voices until General Sarah Martinez of the United Nations Space Command raised her hand for silence. "Dr. Santos, you said you found something else. Something about the transmission's destination." Elena nodded grimly. "The data isn't just being sent to one location. It's being broadcast to multiple recipients, all matching energy signatures we've detected from distant star systems. And embedded in each transmission is what appears to be a starting bid." The silence that followed was deafening. Humanity had dreamed of first contact for generations, but no one had imagined it would come in the form of an auction listing. "How long?" Admiral Chen asked, his voice barely above a whisper. "Based on the transmission patterns, we have approximately 3 months before whatever process this is concludes." Elena brought up a new display, showing her proposed response. "But they made a critical mistake. They assumed we couldn't detect them, couldn't decode their transmissions. They underestimated human ingenuity. And that gives us an advantage." Dr. James Chen, the Admiral's younger brother and lead quantum physicist, studied the data with growing excitement. "These transmission protocols, they're using principles we've only theorized about. If we could adapt this technology—" Elena allowed herself a small smile. "Already started. Look at this." She pulled up schematics for a device that made several military officials lean back in shock. "They're using quantum entanglement for instantaneous communication across light years. We can't replicate their tech exactly, but we can piggyback on their transmissions, insert our own data into their signal stream." "To what end?" General Martinez asked, though her expression suggested she already knew where this was going. "To crash their auction," Elena stated firmly. "We flood their network with our own message. Proof that humanity isn't some primitive species to be bought and sold. We show them exactly what happens when someone tries to put a price tag on Earth." The next weeks passed in a blur of activity. The facility expanded as the best minds from every nation came together, political differences set aside in the face of a common cause. Elena worked tirelessly, coordinating teams as they decoded more alien transmissions and refined their countermeasure technology. The breakthrough came from an unexpected source. Dr. Yuki Takeshi, a theoretical physicist who had been studying quantum consciousness, recognized patterns in the alien transmissions that matched his research. "They're not just sending data," he explained during an emergency briefing. "They're transmitting quantum-encoded consciousness signatures. That's how they're assessing us, by quantifying the collective consciousness of humanity." Helena immediately saw the implications. "Then we don't just hijack their transmissions. We show them our consciousness directly. Let them experience firsthand what humanity truly is." The plan took shape rapidly. Using Dr. Takeshi's insights, they developed a quantum consciousness amplifier that could inject human thought patterns directly into the alien transmission stream. But they needed something more, something that would make the Galactic Council and their bidders understand exactly what they were dealing with. "We give them history," Helena proposed. "Every moment of human triumph over adversity. Every time we faced impossible odds and refused to submit. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every example of human determination and courage." Admiral Chen nodded slowly. "We show them humanity's true value, not in credits or resources, but in our indomitable spirit." As the deadline approached, Helena stood before the quantum array one final time. The consciousness amplifier was ready, loaded with carefully curated experiences that showcase humanity's essence. In 3 minutes, their message would ride the aliens' own transmission stream to every corner of the galaxy. "They thought they could assess our worth from orbit," she said to the assembled team. "Time to show them what they missed. Initiate transmission." The quantum processors surged with power as humanity's first deliberate message to the stars began its journey. They had no way of knowing how the Galactic Council would respond, but one thing was certain: Earth was not for sale, and anyone who thought they could auction off humanity was about to learn a valuable lesson about underestimating human potential. The response to humanity's consciousness broadcast came faster than anyone expected. 3 days after Helena's team hijacked the alien transmission network, the cloaking field around the orbital structure failed, revealing a sleek monitoring station that gleamed like liquid mercury in the sunlight. "They're not even trying to hide anymore," Admiral Chen observed from the facility's new command center. "Question is, are they dropping their facade out of respect or anger?" The answer came in the form of a direct transmission. The holographic projectors that Earth's scientists had reverse-engineered from the alien signals hummed to life, materializing a being that defied conventional description. Its form shifted between crystalline geometries and flowing organic shapes, its voice resonating directly in the minds of everyone present. "I am Arbitrator Zixtal of the Galactic Council," the entity announced. "Your species has violated numerous Council protocols regarding pre-integration civilizations. However, there was a pause that felt both amused and concerned. Your method of violation has forced an emergency session of the full Council. Your presence is required." Helena stepped forward, her grandmother's compass warm in her pocket. "We'll be happy to attend, but not as items for auction. Humanity negotiates as equals, or not at all." The arbitrator's form flickered. "You misunderstand. This is not a negotiation. Transport will arrive in 14 solar cycles. Be prepared." The hologram vanished. General Martinez was already moving. 14 days to prepare for a meeting that could determine humanity's future. "Dr. Santos, what do we need?" Helena shared a knowing look with Dr. Takeshi. "We need to show them something impossible." The next 2 weeks transformed the Australian outback into the site of humanity's most ambitious engineering project. Under the surface, quantum forges worked at temperatures approaching absolute zero, crafting materials that shouldn't exist. Teams of scientists and engineers worked around the clock, applying principles gleaned from the alien transmissions in ways their originators had never imagined. "They expect us to arrive in one of their transport ships," Helena explained during a progress briefing. "Instead, we're going to demonstrate why humanity deserves a seat at the galactic table." The vessel took shape in an underground cavern large enough to house a small city. Its hull incorporated quantum-entangled particles that could alter their fundamental properties in response to thought. The consciousness amplifier technology they'd developed wasn't just a communication tool anymore. It had become the ship's core. Dr. James Chen led the propulsion team, developing a drive system that merged quantum tunneling with human consciousness in ways that made several theoretical physicists quit in protest. The aliens use quantum mechanics to communicate, he explained. We're going to use it to move. 4 days before the transport was due to arrive, Elena stood in the ship's neural interface chamber, surrounded by displays showing final system checks. They'd named the vessel Prometheus Unbound, humanity's gift of fire to itself. Neural interface online, the ship's AI announced, its consciousness modeled after the collective knowledge of the development team. Quantum core stable, all systems nominal. Elena placed her hand on the neural linkage panel, feeling the ship's systems merge with her consciousness. Around the world, other interface chambers activated as the rest of the crew established their connections. The Prometheus wasn't just a ship, it was humanity's collective will made manifest. They're here, Admiral Chen's voice announced over the comm. Above the facility, 3 alien transport ships had appeared, their design matching the aesthetic of the former monitoring station. Elena smiled. Perfect timing. All crews, prepare for emergence. Let's show the galaxy what humanity can do when someone tries to put us up for auction. The Prometheus rose from its underground berth, quantum fields bending light around its hull in ways that made it appear both there and not there simultaneously. The alien transport ships immediately detected them, their energy signatures spiking in what Elena liked to think was surprise. This is Dr. Elena Santos of Earth. She transmitted using the aliens' own quantum protocols. We appreciate the offer of transport, but we've arranged our own ride to the council session. The arbitrator's response carried clear confusion. Your species does not possess quantum translation capability. This vessel cannot exist. And yet here we are, Elena replied. Humanity has a habit of doing the impossible, especially when someone tells us we can't. Shall we proceed to the council? There was a long pause before the arbitrator responded. The council chamber is 17 light-years from your solar system. Your vessel, however impressive, cannot. Elena activated the quantum drive. Space itself seemed to hiccup as the Prometheus transferred its entire mass through quantum states, covering 17 light-years in less time than it took to explain the theory behind it. The ship materialized in high orbit around a world that shimmered with artificial light, its entire surface covered in what appeared to be a single vast city. Impossible, the arbitrator's voice whispered in their minds. You'll find that word means something very different to humans, Elena responded. Now about that council session. In the neural interface chamber, Elena felt the collective pride and determination of her crew. They had done more than build a ship. They had shattered the council's preconceptions about humanity's capabilities. But as they descended toward the council world, she knew this was just the beginning. The real challenge would be convincing a galaxy full of advanced civilizations that humanity deserved not just their respect, but their recognition as equals. Fortunately, humanity had a long history of overcoming impossible odds, and they were about to add another chapter to that story. The Galactic Council chamber was a marvel of alien architecture, a vast amphitheater whose walls seemed to be made of living light. Representatives from thousands of species occupied floating platforms arranged in concentric circles, their forms ranging from crystalline structures to beings of pure energy. The Prometheus hovered at the chamber's center, its quantum-shifted hull drawing murmurs of disbelief from the assembled species. Elena stood on the ship's external observation platform, the neural interface allowing her to sense every reaction from the gathered council members. Beside her, Admiral Chen and Dr. Takeshi represented military and scientific authority, while General Martinez carried the combined diplomatic weight of Earth's nations. You stand accused of multiple violations of council law. A collective voice resonated through the chamber. unauthorized quantum technology development, consciousness pattern manipulation, illegal acquisition of Class 9 restricted knowledge. Elena stepped forward. Interesting. We stand accused of proving ourselves more capable than you assumed. Tell me, how does one illegally acquire knowledge that was being broadcast about their own species? A ripple of communication passed through the council. A beam of swirling plasma moved its platform closer. The monitoring station was studying your potential for ascension to council status. The auction protocol is how we determine which advanced species will guide a developing civilization. Guide. Admiral Chen's voice carried carefully controlled anger. You were preparing to sell us to the highest bidder. For your own protection, another council member interjected, this one appearing as a matrix of geometric patterns. Your species advances too quickly, develops technologies without understanding their implications. The quantum drive you used to reach us. By our calculations, it should have torn your ship apart. Elena smiled. Those calculations assumed a purely mechanical approach to quantum manipulation. We took a different path. Dr. Takeshi, would you care to demonstrate? Yuki stepped forward, his neural link to the Prometheus intensifying. The ship's quantum core pulsed, and suddenly every piece of council technology in the chamber began operating at peak efficiency. Communication systems cleared of interference, environmental controls achieved perfect balance, and even the chamber's artificial gravity field stabilized to an unprecedented degree. Impossible, the geometric being stated. Our systems are isolated, secured. They're also based on quantum mechanics, Elena explained, which means they're subject to consciousness influence, if you know how to apply it. We didn't just build a quantum drive. We developed a way to merge human consciousness with quantum fields themselves. Your monitoring station gave us the basic principles. Human innovation did the rest. The council chamber erupted in overlapping communications as representatives debated the implications. Elena could sense their confusion, their disbelief, and underneath it all, their fear. Humanity hadn't just developed restricted technology. They'd transformed it into something the council had never imagined possible. A new figure emerged from the chaos, a being that seemed to exist in multiple dimensions simultaneously. I am the High Arbiter. Your achievements are concerning. The speed of your advancement, your willingness to ignore established principles of technological development. These are precisely why the guidance protocol exists. With respect, General Martinez interjected, humanity has never advanced by following established principles. Our greatest achievements come from questioning assumptions, from refusing to accept limitations. Elena nodded. You saw our physical technology, our industrial capacity, our military capability. But you missed something crucial, human creativity. Our ability to look at the impossible and see possibilities instead of limitations. To demonstrate her point, Elena established a direct neural link with the Council's communication network. Through the Prometheus's quantum core, she shared not just data, but experience. Centuries of human innovation, countless moments of breakthrough achieved by thinking beyond conventional boundaries. The Council members fell silent as they absorbed the stream of human consciousness. They saw the Wright brothers achieve powered flight when it was deemed impossible. They'd witnessed Einstein reshape understanding of space and time. They experienced the moment of triumph when humans first stepped on their moon, armed with technology that by galactic standards should have been hopelessly primitive. Your species, the High Arbiter finally spoke, is unlike any we have encountered. Your approach to physics alone violates dozens of council guidelines. And yet, the being's form shifted, displaying what might have been uncertainty. And yet you achieve results that our own scientists claimed were impossible. That's humanity's specialty, Elena replied. We see boundaries as challenges, not limitations. You wanted to auction us off to be guided by your principles. Instead, we offer something different, a partnership. Let us show you how to look at the universe through human eyes. In return, share your knowledge, your experience. Together, we could achieve things that are impossible for either of us alone. The council chamber filled with intense discussion as representatives debated this unprecedented proposal. Alina could sense the shift in their collective consciousness, from dismissal to curiosity, from concern to cautious interest. There will need to be protocols, the High Arbiter stated. Guidelines for the exchange of knowledge. Agreed, Alina responded, but they must be protocols we develop together, as equals. Humanity won't be guided or controlled, but we're very good at collaboration. As negotiations began in earnest, Alina shared a knowing look with her teammates. They had come to the council chamber to prevent humanity from being sold. Instead, they were about to reshape the galaxy's understanding of what was possible. The Prometheus hummed with quiet energy, its quantum core resonating with the collective pride and determination of its human crew. The age of limitations was over. The age of human innovation was about to begin. 3 months after humanity's dramatic entrance into galactic politics, the Prometheus had become a symbol of change throughout council space. Alina stood in her quarters aboard the ship, watching distant stars through a viewport that doubled as a quantum observation array. The vessel now served as Earth's mobile embassy, carrying human innovation across the galaxy. Dr. Santos, the ship's AI announced, the Xerillian delegation has arrived for the technology exchange. The Xerillians were one of the first species to embrace humanity's unconventional approaches. Their crystalline forms appeared in Alina's chamber, refracting light in complex patterns that served as their primary form of communication. We have studied your quantum consciousness interface, their lead scientist communicated. It defies our understanding of boundary physics, yet it functions beyond theoretical limits. Alina activated a holographic display showing the latest human innovation, a hybrid system that merged Xerillian crystal technology with human consciousness manipulation. That's because you're trying to understand it through purely scientific principles. Watch what happens when we add human intuition to the equation. The demonstration that followed left the Xerillian scientists in stunned silence. Human consciousness, channeled through their crystal matrices, achieved computational speeds that their most advanced systems couldn't match. But more importantly, it solved problems creatively, finding solutions that rigid logical systems would never consider. Admiral Chen's voice came through the neural link. Alina, you need to see this. Council chamber, immediately. She found the council in an uproar. A massive hologram dominated the chamber center, showing a phenomenon that shouldn't exist. A quantum cascade failure threatening an entire sector of space. Traditional council technology could only watch as the fabric of reality began to unravel. The containment protocols have failed, the High Arbiter announced. The sector will be lost within 48 hours. Evacuation procedures are already underway. Alina studied the data streams, her mind linking with the Prometheus's quantum core. Who says we need to contain it? Dr. Takeshi, are you seeing what I'm seeing? Through their shared neural link, Yuki analyzed the quantum cascade. The pattern. It's similar to how we manipulate space for the drive system. If we could apply the same principles on a larger scale, we don't stop the cascade, Alina concluded. We redirect it. Admiral, we're going to need every human-operated ship with quantum consciousness technology. The Council watched in disbelief as a fleet of human vessels, each built using principles derived from the Prometheus, took position around the affected sector. Traditional physics said their plan was impossible. The energy requirements alone should have vaporized their ships. But human consciousness, linked through quantum fields, saw possibilities where others saw only chaos. The fleet began to move in perfect synchronization, their quantum cores resonating with patterns that mimicked natural cosmic phenomena. Now, Alina commanded. The ships activated their modified drive systems simultaneously. Space itself seemed to flex as human consciousness imposed order on quantum chaos. The cascade didn't stop. Instead, it folded in on itself, collapsing into a controlled quantum singularity that could be safely contained. Impossible, the Geometric Council member whispered. The energy readings alone. are precisely what we expected. Elena finished. When you understand that consciousness and quantum mechanics are interlinked, you stop trying to force the universe to follow rigid rules. Instead, you learn to dance with it. The High Arbiter's form shifted through multiple dimensions as it processed the implications. Your species continues to append our understanding of universal constants. This should not have been possible. That phrase is becoming something of a human motto. Admiral Chen commented with a slight smile. Perhaps it's time to rewrite some of those constants. The council chamber filled with intense discussion as representatives debated the ramifications. Humanity hadn't just saved a sector of space. They'd demonstrated mastery of principles that the council had deemed immutable. We request, the High Arbiter finally announced, a formal amendment to the council charter. Humanity's status must be elevated beyond standard membership. We propose the creation of a new category, innovation partners. Elena shared knowing looks with her team. 3 months ago, they had fought to prevent humanity from being auctioned off. Now, they were about to help reshape the fundamental principles that governed galactic civilization. We accept, she responded, on one condition. The knowledge we share must be available to all council species ready to learn. No more artificial restrictions on development. No more holding species back out of fear of what they might achieve. As the council debated this radical proposal, Elena felt the quantum fields rippling with possibility. Humanity had done more than prove their worth. They had shown the galaxy that the impossible was just another boundary waiting to be broken. Through the Prometheus's sensors, she watched the contained quantum singularity, now a testament to human ingenuity. It pulsed with stable energy, defying every law of physics the council held sacred. In its light, she saw the future, a galaxy where human creativity and alien wisdom would combine to achieve things that neither could imagine alone. The age of limitations was truly over. The age of infinite possibility had begun. 1 year after humanity's introduction to galactic society, the council chamber had transformed. Where once rigid hierarchies had dominated, now interactive quantum interfaces allowed real-time collaboration between species. The Prometheus's consciousness technology had sparked a revolution in how civilizations communicated and worked together. Elena stood before the assembled council, her grandmother's compass still in her pocket, now joined by artifacts from dozens of alien cultures, gifts of respect from species who had learned to see the universe through human eyes. The Human Innovation Protocol has exceeded all projected outcomes, she reported, gesturing to the holographic displays showing technological and social advances across council space. Over 300 formerly restricted technologies have been revolutionized through the application of human consciousness principles. The High Arbiter's multidimensional form rippled with what Elena had learned to recognize as excitement. The galaxy has changed more in 1 year than in the previous millennium. Species that once competed now collaborate. Problems we thought unsolvable are yielding to human approaches. Because you finally stopped trying to control evolution, Admiral Chen observed from his position beside Elena. Innovation can't be guided by rigid protocols. It needs freedom to explore, to fail, to try the impossible. A Cerulean representative moved forward, their crystalline form now incorporating human-inspired quantum consciousness interfaces. Our scientists once spent centuries trying to perfect quantum communication. Humans showed us we were asking the wrong questions. Now we don't just communicate. We share experiences, insights, dreams. The council chamber's displays shifted to show various achievements from the past year. The quantum cascade containment technology had evolved into a method for rehabilitating damaged sectors of space. Human consciousness interfaces had helped unlock the potential of countless species previously deemed too primitive for advanced technology. We were wrong, the High Arbiter acknowledged, its form synchronizing with the chamber's quantum fields. We saw the galaxy as a hierarchy to be managed. Humanity showed us it could be a collaboration to be nurtured. Dr. Takeshi stepped forward, his neural link to the Prometheus, allowing him to project his thoughts directly into the Council's shared consciousness. Because we never saw limitations as absolute, Every boundary is just another challenge to overcome. Every impossible task is an opportunity to innovate. Elena smiled as she activated the chamber's main display, showing their latest project. Speaking of innovation, we're ready to present our solution to the void crisis. The chamber fell silent. The void, a region of space where reality itself seemed to break down, had defied council understanding for millennia. Countless civilizations have been lost attempting to study or contain it. The void isn't a crisis to be solved, Elena explained, sharing real-time data from human research vessels. It's an opportunity to understand reality at a deeper level. We've been working with the Exarillions and the Quantum Collective to develop a new approach. The display showed human ships using modified versions of their quantum drive technology, their consciousness-linked crews working in perfect harmony with alien scientists. Instead of trying to fight the void's reality warping effects, they were learning to work with them. Traditional physics says the void shouldn't exist, Dr. Takeshi explained. But human consciousness has always operated outside traditional physics. We don't just observe reality. We interact with it, shape it, dream it into new forms. The demonstration that followed left even the most skeptical council members speechless. Human ships, their quantum fields augmented by alien technology and guided by consciousness interfaces, began to stabilize the void's boundaries. They weren't containing it. They were communicating with it, using principles that merged science with intuition in ways that defied conventional understanding. This is just the beginning, Elena announced. The void isn't a threat to be eliminated. It's a gateway to understanding reality in entirely new ways. Humanity never reached for the stars by playing it safe. We got here by daring to imagine more. The High Arbiter's form crystallized into a pattern that radiated pure awe. 1 year ago, we thought to auction your species to the highest bidder. Now you teach us that our greatest weakness was believing we had nothing left to learn. Elena touched her grandmother's compass one last time before addressing the council. The universe isn't a set of rules to be followed. It's a mystery to be explored, a story to be written by those brave enough to dream beyond the possible. Humanity doesn't want to leave the galaxy. We want to explore it with you, to break boundaries together, to see what lies beyond the edge of known space. As she spoke, the Void Stabilization Project continued to transmit data. Human consciousness, merged with alien wisdom through quantum fields that defied conventional physics, was opening doors to realms of possibility that neither humanity nor the Council had imagined possible. The age of separation was over. The age of unified discovery had begun. And somewhere in the vast expanse of space, Elena knew her grandmother was smiling, knowing that humanity had found its true place among the stars, not as subjects to be guided, but as dreamers who taught the galaxy how to dream again. So, Elena asked the assembled council, her eyes twinkling with the same curiosity that had first drawn her to the stars, "Who's ready to explore the impossible with us?" The response was unanimous. The galaxy would never be the same, and that was exactly how humanity liked it.